The blood wouldn't stop. I remember staring at the ceiling tiles in that sterile hospital room, counting the tiny holes while nurses rushed around me with worried faces. Faith had been born 3 hours earlier after 18 hours of labor that ended with an emergency C-section, and something had gone wrong. Really wrong. "Mrs. Wilkins, we need to take you back to surgery," the doctor said, but his voice sounded like it was coming through water. My name is Callie, and I should have been holding my daughter. Instead, I was watching my husband Ashton pace the hallway through the doorway, his phone pressed to his ear, probably calling his parents to tell them their granddaughter had finally arrived. "The bleeding isn't stopping on its own," another voice said. "We need to move now." I reached for Ashton's hand as they wheeled me past him. "Call your mom," I whispered. "Tell her I need her." He squeezed my fingers. "Already did. She's coming." But she wasn't. After the second surgery, after they'd stopped the hemorrhaging and stitched me back together like a broken doll, I lay in that hospital bed for 3 days, waiting. Ashton slept in the chair beside me, exhausted and overwhelmed, trying to figure out how to change diapers and comfort a crying newborn while I could barely sit up without feeling dizzy. "Did you hear back from your parents?" I asked him on day 2, watching him struggle with the baby wrap. They're dealing with Trinity's wedding stuff. Mom said they'll visit once we're home and settled." Settled, like I was a new piece of furniture they'd get around to arranging eventually. I called Sandra myself that afternoon while Ashton was getting coffee. "Oh, Callie, congratulations." Her voice was bright but distracted. "How are you feeling?" "I almost died, Sandra. I lost so much blood they had to take me back to surgery twice. I can't even hold Faith for more than a few minutes without getting dizzy, and Ashton hasn't slept in 4 days." "Well, that sounds scary, but you're fine now, right? These things happen. My sister had a difficult birth too, and she bounced right back." I pressed the phone closer to my ear. "I was hoping maybe you could come help for a few days. Just until I can—" "Oh, honey, I wish I could, but Trinity's wedding is next month. We're meeting with the florist today, and tomorrow we have the final cake tasting. You know how these things are. Everything has to be perfect." Perfect. I stared at my reflection in the black phone screen after she hung up. Dark circles under my eyes, hospital gown hanging off my shoulders, milk stains on everything. Nothing about me was perfect. The next week at home was a blur of sleepless nights and endless crying, both Faith's and mine. Ashton did his best, but he was drowning too. He'd never changed a diaper before Faith was born, and I was too weak to teach him properly. We fumbled through feedings and diaper changes like teenagers playing house, except the baby was real and the exhaustion was crushing. "Maybe I should call Mom again," Ashton said one evening, bouncing Faith while she screamed. "Ask her to come for just a weekend." I nodded from the couch where I'd been lying for 3 hours, too tired to move. "Please." He stepped into the kitchen to make the call, and I could hear fragments of conversation. "She's really struggling, Mom. I don't know what to do. Just for a couple days." Then Sandra's voice got louder, and I realized he'd put her on speaker. "Ashton, you're being dramatic. New mothers go through this. She'll figure it out. Besides, we're completely swamped with Trinity's rehearsal dinner planning. The venue coordinator is being impossible, and we still haven't found the right linens." That's when I heard Trinity's laugh in the background, bright and carefree. "Tell him about the centerpieces, Mom. Show him the pictures. Oh, Trinity found the most gorgeous arrangements. Look at this." Sandra's voice shifted away from the phone. "Aren't they stunning? Each table is going to cost $800, but it's going to be absolutely magical. $800 per table, for flowers that would die in a week." I dragged myself off the couch and walked to the bathroom, closing the door behind me. The tile floor was cold against my cheek as I lay down, listening to them gush about Trinity's perfect wedding, while my daughter cried in the next room and my incision throbbed with every breath. Something inside me cracked that night, not broke. Breaking implies it could be fixed. This was different. This was a fundamental shift, like tectonic plates moving deep underground before an earthquake. I stopped asking for help after that. I stopped expecting it too, and I started remembering everything. 5 years later, my house runs like clockwork. Mom, can I have the purple cup? Faith asks from her booster seat, swinging her legs while I pack her lunch. The purple cup is in the dishwasher, sweetheart. How about the blue one with the unicorns? Okay. She grins, gap-toothed and perfect, her dark hair in neat braids. No tantrums, no meltdowns. We have routines now. Structure. Peace. Ashton walks into the kitchen, adjusting his tie. Morning meeting got moved to 8. I might be late tonight. No problem. Faith and I are making pizza from scratch. I hand him his coffee in the travel mug he's used for 3 years. Extra shot, no sugar. He kisses my forehead. What would I do without you? Starve, probably. Faith giggles. Daddy can't even make toast without burning it. Hey now, Ashton protests, ruffling her hair. I've gotten better. You set off the smoke alarm last week, I remind him, zipping Faith's backpack. That was one time. This is what normal looks like. What I built from the ashes of those first terrible months. Every morning routine practiced until it's muscle memory. Every evening planned and prepared. No chaos, no surprises. No one gets to disrupt our peace. After I drop Faith at school, I meet my neighbor Raquel at the coffee shop on 5th Street. She's already claimed our usual table by the window, her laptop open and her red hair piled in a messy bun. You look disgustingly put together for 9 a.m., she says without looking up from her screen. It's called having a routine. It's called being a control freak. She grins, but I respect it. How's the fortress? That's what she calls my house, the fortress. Because after Faith was born, after I realized I couldn't count on anyone but myself, I turned our home into exactly that, a place where nothing unexpected could touch us. Peaceful, I say, ordering my usual latte. Ashton's parents haven't called in 2 months. Good. They don't deserve access to you or Faith. Raquel is the only person who knows the whole story. She moved in next door 3 years ago and found me crying in my garden one afternoon when Faith was having a particularly difficult day. Instead of offering empty platitudes, she brought over a bottle of wine and listened while I told her everything. You know what I love about you? She'd said that night. You didn't just survive, you evolved. She was right. The woman who begged for help, who lay on bathroom floors hoping someone would care, she doesn't exist anymore. In her place is someone who plans ahead, someone who builds walls, someone who remembers. Speaking of your in-laws, Raquel says now, closing her laptop. Trinity's wedding anniversary would have been this month, right? Next week, actually. I sip my latte. 5 years of marital bliss. Think they're still happy? I shrug. Not my problem anymore. But that's not entirely true. I know more about Trinity's life than I should. Social media makes it easy to keep tabs on people, even when you don't follow them directly. Mutual friends post pictures. Wedding vendors tag locations. Public records show mortgage information. I know she and Carter bought a house they couldn't afford in the suburbs. I know she got promoted to regional manager at her marketing firm last year. I know she posts Instagram stories from expensive restaurants and weekend trips to wine country. I also know appearances can be deceiving. You ever wonder what you'd do if they needed something from you? Raquel asks. They won't. But if they did, I meet her eyes. They made their choice 5 years ago. I'm not the same person who needed their help. No, she agrees. You're not. We finish our coffee and walk back to our street. Raquel heads to her home office. She runs a freelance graphic design business, and I unlock my front door to the sound of absolute silence. This is my favorite time of day. Faith at school, Ashton at work, the house clean and organized exactly how I like it. I water my plants, start a load of laundry, prep dinner ingredients, everything in its place. At 3:30, I pick up Faith from school. She chatters about her art project and her friend Madison's new puppy while I drive our familiar route home. Mom, how come I never see Grandma Sandra and Grandpa Michael? She asks as we pull into our driveway. The question catches me off guard. Faith rarely asks about Ashton's parents anymore. They live far away, sweetheart. But Madison's grandparents live in Florida and they visit all the time. I park the car and turn to look at her. Some families are different, Faith. We have each other, and that's what matters. She nods, seemingly satisfied, and runs toward the house. I'm following her up the front steps when I see them. Two figures walking up our sidewalk, moving slowly like they're not sure they want to be here. My blood turns to ice. Sandra and Michael, and behind them, dragging a suitcase, is Trinity. Faith, go inside and wash your hands, I say, my voice steady despite my heart hammering against my ribs. But Mom, now please. She looks between me and the approaching figures, sensing something's wrong, then disappears through the front door. I turn to face them. Sandra looks older, more tired than in her Facebook photos. Michael walks with a slight limp I don't remember. And Trinity looks like hell. Her blonde hair hangs limp and unwashed. Dark circles ring her eyes, and her designer clothes are wrinkled like she's been sleeping in them. The suitcase she's dragging has a broken wheel that scrapes against the concrete. Callie, Sandra says, forcing a smile, you look wonderful. Motherhood agrees with you. I don't respond. Don't smile back. Just wait. We were hoping we could talk, Michael adds, about Trinity. Trinity won't meet my eyes. She stares at her feet, mascara smudged, looking nothing like the golden child who laughed about centerpieces while I bled on a bathroom floor. What about Trinity? Sandra glances at her daughter, then back at me. She's had a run of bad luck lately. Her marriage, well, Carter left a few months ago, filed for divorce. And then her job. I got fired, Trinity interrupts, her voice hoarse. They said I was falsifying expense reports, but it wasn't. I mean, everyone does it. Everyone. The point is, Michael jumps in, she's going through a rough patch. We thought maybe she could stay with you and Ashton for a little while, just until she gets back on her feet. The audacity steals my breath. I actually have to blink several times to make sure I'm not hallucinating. You want Trinity to stay here. Just temporarily, Sandra says quickly. A few weeks at most. You know how family works, Callie. We help each other. Family. The word tastes like poison in my mouth. Where are you staying now? I ask Trinity directly. She finally looks up. A motel on Route 9. The weekly rate is... it's expensive. And your parents can't help. Sandra shifts uncomfortably. We're on a fixed income now. Michael's retirement, you know. We simply don't have the space. Lies. I know they bought a 4-bedroom house in a golf community 2 years ago. I've seen the pictures Sandra posts of her craft room and Michael's home office. What about friends? Other family? Trinity's laugh is bitter. Turns out when your husband leaves you for his secretary and empties your joint bank account, people stop returning your calls. I'm sorry that happened to you, I say, and I mean it. Despite everything, I wouldn't wish that betrayal on anyone. Hope flickers in Trinity's eyes. So, you'll help? I didn't say that. The hope dies instantly. Sandra steps forward. Callie, I know we haven't been as close as we could have been. Close? The word comes out sharper than I intended. Sandra, when Faith was born, when I nearly died, I begged you for help. You were too busy planning Trinity's wedding to visit your granddaughter in the hospital. That's not... We were going to visit... When? After the cake tasting. After the florist appointment. After the $800 centerpieces were arranged? Sandra's face flushes. You're being unfair. That was 5 years ago. Yes, it was. And now you're standing on my doorstep asking for favors. Trinity steps forward, desperation replacing her earlier shame. Please, Callie, I have nowhere else to go. I'll do anything. Clean, cook, watch Faith. You'll watch my daughter? I can't keep the incredulity out of my voice. The same daughter you've met exactly 3 times in 5 years? I know I haven't been the best aunt. You haven't been an aunt at all. Michael clears his throat. Look, Callie, we understand you're upset about the past, but this is about doing the right thing now. Trinity needs help. The right thing. I nod slowly. Like how it was the right thing to leave me alone with a newborn and postpartum depression while you planned a party? We didn't know how bad it was, Sandra protests, because you didn't ask, you didn't visit, you didn't call. Trinity wipes her nose with the back of her hand. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry we weren't there for you. But I'm here now, asking for help. Isn't that what family does? I look at her, really look at her. The designer purse with the broken strap, the expensive shoes with scuffed heels, the wedding ring she's still wearing even though her husband left her months ago. I need to talk to Ashton first. Sandra brightens. Of course. We'll wait. Not here. I'll call you tomorrow. But where should Trinity stay tonight? Michael asks. I meet Trinity's eyes. The same place she stayed last night, I assume. Trinity's face crumbles. Callie, please. I said I'll call you tomorrow. I turn toward my front door, my hand on the handle. This is unbelievable, Trinity says behind me. 5 years ago, you were crying for help, and now you won't even... I stop, turn around, look directly at her. 5 years ago, I was dying. Today, you're inconvenienced. There's a difference. I walk inside and close the door behind me, leaving them standing on my porch. Through the window, I watch them argue in hushed voices before finally walking back to their car. Trinity looks back once, and I see something in her expression I recognize. Desperation. I smile. Ashton comes home to find me making dinner like nothing happened. Faith is at the kitchen table working on homework, humming while she colors a worksheet about butterflies. How was your day? He asks, kissing my cheek. Interesting. Your family stopped by. His whole body tenses. What? Trinity needs a place to stay. Her husband left her, she got fired, and your parents want us to take her in. Faith looks up from her coloring. Who's Trinity? Your aunt, Ashton says quietly. My sister. I have an aunt? Faith's eyes widen. Where has she been? That's a good question, I say, stirring the pasta sauce. Ashton runs his hands through his hair. What did you tell them? That I'd talk to you first. And what do you want to do? I turn off the burner and face him. What do you think we should do? He glances at Faith, then back at me. Can we talk about this after dinner? We eat in relative quiet. Faith chatters about her day, but I can see Ashton's mind elsewhere. He keeps checking his phone like he's expecting a call. After Faith goes to bed, we sit on the couch with glasses of wine. She's my sister, he says finally. I know. But what they did to you, to us... I can't forget that. I'm not asking you to forget. He looks at me. What are you asking? I take a sip of wine, choosing my words carefully. If we do this, it's on our terms, not theirs. What kind of terms? 4 weeks maximum. She pays rent, market rate for a room in this area. She signs a formal agreement. She follows house rules. Ashton frowns. Rent? She's family. Family didn't help when we needed it. Why should we help for free now? He's quiet for a long moment. You're really going to make my sister pay rent? I'm going to treat your sister like any other tenant. If she can't afford it, she can find somewhere else. Callie? What? You think I should just open our home to someone who's never shown any interest in our daughter? Someone who couldn't be bothered to visit when I was in the hospital? She was young then, selfish. Maybe she's changed. I set down my wine glass. Has she? When's the last time she called you? Sent Faith a birthday card? Asked how we're doing? He doesn't answer because we both know the truth. Trinity has never once reached out, not for birthdays, holidays, or any other reason. 4 weeks, I repeat. Rent, rules, agreement. And if I say no, then you call your parents and tell them we can't help. Ashton stares at the ceiling. She really has nowhere else to go. That's not our fault. I know, but, he sighs, she's still my sister. Then help her, but we do it my way. The next morning, I call Sandra while Faith is at school. Oh, Callie, I was hoping you'd call. How did Ashton take it? We've decided we can help Trinity under certain conditions. Conditions? 4 weeks maximum. She pays $800 a month for the room. That's below market rate for this area. She signs a rental agreement. She follows our house rules. Silence. $800? Sandra's voice is strained. Callie, she doesn't have that kind of money. Then she needs to find it, or find somewhere else to stay. But she's family. Family pays their way in my house. More silence. Then, what kind of house rules? No guests without permission. No drinking in common areas. She cleans up after herself. She doesn't discipline or correct Faith in any way. She respects our schedule and routines. This seems harsh. It's fair. Take it or leave it. I hear muffled conversation in the background. Sandra talking to someone, probably Michael. Fine, Sandra says finally. When can she move in? After she signs the agreement and pays first month's rent. I'll email you the details. That afternoon, I drive to the law office where my friend Jessica works. She's a family attorney who helped me set up Faith's college fund and our wills. A rental agreement for your sister-in-law? Jessica raises an eyebrow. This is unusual. Unusual circumstances. She reviews the document I've drafted. This is pretty ironclad. Late fees, eviction procedures, damage deposits. You're serious about this? Completely. And the background check clause? Standard for any tenant. Jessica prints the final version. You know, most people would just let family stay for free. Most people don't have my family. That evening, I make another call, this one to a number I found in Trinity's old LinkedIn connections. Emiliano, this is Callie, Ashton's wife, Trinity's sister-in-law. Oh, hey, how are you? I haven't seen Trinity in months. How's she doing? Actually, that's why I'm calling. She mentioned you two worked together at Morrison Marketing? Yeah, until she left. Well, until she was fired, I guess. Right, the expense report thing, among other things. His voice gets careful. Why are you asking? She's staying with us temporarily. I just want to make sure I understand the situation. Look, I probably shouldn't say this, but Trinity, she had some problems at work. The expense reports were just the tip of the iceberg. What do you mean? She was taking credit for other people's work, lying to clients about project timelines. There was this whole thing with a campaign she claimed she designed, but it was actually done by an intern. My pulse quickens. Do you have any documentation of that? Why? Just curious about the kind of person I'm letting into my home. Emiliano is quiet for a moment. I might have some emails, but Callie, what are you planning? Nothing, just being cautious. Be very cautious. Trinity, she's not who she pretends to be. After I hang up, I sit in my kitchen with a cup of tea and Faith's baby photos spread across the table. Pictures of her first days, when I was too weak to hold her properly. Pictures of her first smile, which Ashton captured while I slept off the pain medication. Pictures of a time when I needed help and got nothing. I gather the photos and put them back in their box. Then I open my laptop and start typing an email to Emiliano. Trinity moves in on a Tuesday with 3 suitcases and an attitude. This room is smaller than I expected, she says, surveying the guest bedroom, and there's no ensuite bathroom? The bathroom is down the hall, I tell her. You'll share it with Faith. Share with a 5-year-old? She's very clean, unlike some adults I know. Trinity drops her suitcase on the bed without removing the comforter first. Where should I put my clothes? The dresser and closet are empty. I cleared them out for you. She opens the closet door and frowns. This won't fit everything. Then you have too much stuff. Callie, I just went through a divorce. These are literally all my possessions. Then I guess you'll figure it out. I leave her to unpack and find Faith in the living room, playing with her blocks but glancing nervously toward the stairs. Is the lady staying in my house? She asks. For a little while, her name is Trinity and she's Daddy's sister. Why haven't I met her before? Sometimes grown-ups make choices that keep them apart from family. Faith considers this. Did she make bad choices? We'll see. That evening, Trinity joins us for dinner. She picks at the chicken and vegetables I made, pushing food around her plate. Do you have anything else? She asks. I'm not really a vegetable person. There's bread, Ashton offers. Carbs make me bloated. Faith stares at her. My mom says vegetables make you strong. Your mom says a lot of things, Trinity mutters. I set down my fork. Excuse me? Nothing, just... Never mind. After dinner, Trinity disappears upstairs while Ashton and I clean up. Faith helps by putting away the silverware, chattering about her day at school. Aunt Trinity seems sad, she observes. She's going through a hard time, Ashton says. Is that why she's grumpy? Probably. When I'm sad, you and Mom hug me. Should we hug Aunt Trinity? I exchange a look with Ashton. Some people need different kinds of help, sweetheart. The next morning, I come downstairs to find Trinity in my kitchen, going through my cabinets. Looking for something? She jumps. Coffee. Do you have any real coffee? Not that decaf stuff. Top shelf, left side. She reaches for it, knocking over my spice rack in the process. Bottles scatter across the counter, one rolling onto the floor and cracking. Oops, she says, not moving to clean it up. I grab paper towels and start picking up the mess. That was oregano from Italy. Ashton brought it back from his business trip. I'll replace it. With what money? She flushes. I'm looking for work. Good. You'll need it for next month's rent. That afternoon, while Trinity is out at what she claims is a job interview, I install a small recording device in the living room, the kind used for home security, perfectly legal in my own house. Raquel stops by while I'm testing it. Please tell me you're not doing what I think you're doing, she says. I'm protecting my family. By spying on your house guest? By documenting her behavior in case I need evidence later. Evidence for what? We'll see. Raquel shakes her head. You're playing with fire, Callie. No, I'm playing chess. That evening, Trinity comes home empty-handed and irritated. How did the interview go? Ashton asks. They said they'd call. They won't call. Why not? Because someone's been spreading lies about me. Probably someone from Morrison Marketing. I look up from helping Faith with her homework. What kind of lies? That I'm unreliable. That I have integrity issues. Complete bullshit. Language, I say, nodding toward Faith. She's 5. She doesn't know what that means. She knows it's not a word we use in this house. Trinity rolls her eyes. God, you're uptight. Faith looks between us, sensing tension. Mommy, can I watch cartoons? After homework, baby. I could help her, Trinity offers. I was always good at school. That's okay. We have a routine. Right, your precious routines. Trinity flops onto the couch. Everything has to be perfect in Callie's world. Not perfect, just organized. Same thing. Ashton intervenes. Trinity, maybe you could help with dinner instead. I don't cook. You don't cook, you don't clean, you don't work, I say. What exactly do you do? I'm going through a rough patch. God, can't you show a little compassion? I'm showing you compassion by letting you stay here. For $800 a month? Below market rate. Trinity stands up abruptly. You know what? Forget it. I'm going to my room. She storms upstairs and Faith looks up from her math worksheet. Why is Aunt Trinity so angry all the time? Some people don't know how to be grateful, I tell her. Later that night, after Faith is asleep, I review the recording from the living room. Most of it is boring. Trinity on her phone, complaining to someone about her situation. But then I hear something interesting. I know, Mom, she's such a bitch, acting like she's doing me this huge favor when she's charging me rent like I'm some stranger. Sandra's voice comes through the phone speaker. Just be patient, honey. Once you're back on your feet, you won't have to deal with her anymore. I can't wait. Did you see how she talks to that kid? So controlling. No wonder Ashton seems miserable. He married beneath him. We always knew that. Remember when she had that postpartum thing? So dramatic. Like women haven't been having babies forever. She was always attention-seeking. But you focus on getting your life back together. Don't let her get to you. I won't. But I swear, if she keeps treating me like some charity case... What? Nothing. I need to find a way to make her back off. The recording ends there. I save the file to a secure folder on my laptop, then make another call to Emiliano. I need those emails you mentioned, I tell him. All of them. Callie, what are you planning? Justice. That sounds like revenge. Sometimes they're the same thing. He's quiet for a moment. I'll send them tomorrow. But be careful. Trinity, she's vindictive when she's cornered. So am I. After I hang up, I walk upstairs and check on Faith. She's sleeping peacefully, her stuffed elephant tucked under her arm. I kiss her forehead and whisper, Mommy's gonna make sure no one ever hurts our family again. The emails from Emiliano arrive on a Friday morning. 47 pages of documentation showing Trinity's pattern of lies, theft, and manipulation at Morrison Marketing. Client complaints, plagiarized presentations, falsified expense reports totaling over $12,000. I print everything and put it in a manila folder. That same day, Trinity misses her rent payment. I need a few more days, she tells me over breakfast. My unemployment check was smaller than expected. The lease says rent is due on the 1st. Today is the 3rd. It's just a few days, Callie. Don't be so rigid. Faith looks up from her cereal. What's rigid mean? It means Mommy follows rules, I tell her. Rules are important, Faith says seriously. That's what you always tell me, Trinity snorts. Easy to say when you're 5 and someone else pays for everything. Trinity, Ashton warns. What? I'm just saying some of us live in the real world. I stand up and clear my plate. The real world has consequences for not paying bills. Late fee is $50 per day. $50? That's insane. It's in the contract you signed. I can't afford that. Then you should have paid on time. Trinity's face turns red. You know what your problem is, Callie. You think you're better than everyone else. But you're not. You're just a control freak who peaked in high school. Faith's eyes widen. Ashton sets down his coffee cup hard. Apologize, he says quietly. For what? Telling the truth? For talking like that in front of my daughter. Your daughter needs to learn that the world isn't all rainbows and unicorns like Mommy pretends. I walk over to Trinity's chair and lean down so we're eye level. My daughter, I say very quietly, is not your concern, ever. Trinity meets my stare. Or what? Or you'll find out what happens when someone threatens my child. We stare at each other for a long moment. Then Trinity looks away first. I'm going out, she mutters, grabbing her purse. After she leaves, Ashton helps Faith get ready for school. Mommy, why does Aunt Trinity say mean things? Faith asks while I braid her hair. Some people say mean things when they're unhappy with themselves. Is she unhappy with herself? Very unhappy. Should we help her be happier? I kiss the top of her head. We're already helping her, sweetheart. Sometimes that's all we can do. That afternoon, I visit the courthouse and file the late rent notice. It's all perfectly legal. Trinity signed a contract, and she's in violation. The clerk stamps the paperwork and explains the timeline. If she doesn't pay within 7 days, you can proceed with eviction, she tells me. Thank you. On my way home, I stop at a print shop and make copies of everything. The rental agreement, the late notice, the emails from Emiliano. I put one set in a safety deposit box and mail another to my attorney. Trinity comes home that evening with shopping bags. I thought you didn't have money for rent, I observe. I bought groceries. Food for everyone. She unpacks expensive items, organic vegetables, imported cheese, craft beer. This is $60 worth of groceries, Ashton says, checking the receipt. So you owe us $850 in rent and late fees, but you can afford $60 in luxury groceries? Trinity shrugs. I have to eat. There's food in this house. I cook every night. Your food is boring. Faith tugs on my sleeve. Mommy, can I have the fancy cheese? After dinner, baby. Why can't she have it now? Trinity asks. It's good cheese. Because we eat dinner first in this house. God, you're so controlling. No wonder Ashton looks miserable half the time. Ashton stands up. That's enough. Is it? Because I've been watching and you barely talk to each other. You just follow her little schedules and routines like robots. Those routines keep our family functioning. They keep your family suffocating. When's the last time you did something spontaneous? Something fun? We have fun, Faith pipes up. We make pizza and watch movies and... Scheduled fun, Trinity interrupts. Planned fun. That's not real fun, sweetie. I feel something cold settle in my chest. Don't call her sweetie. Why not? Because you're not her family. I'm her aunt. You're a stranger who happens to share DNA with her father. Trinity's mouth drops open. That's horrible. It's honest. You've been in her life for 3 weeks. Before that, you didn't even know her middle name. I was dealing with my own problems. For 5 years? You don't understand what I've been going through. You're right. I don't understand how someone can ignore their niece for 5 years and then waltz in expecting to be treated like family. Trinity looks at Ashton. Are you going to let her talk to me like this? Ashton looks between us. Callie's right, Trinity. You haven't been part of Faith's life. Because you never invited me. We invited you to her birthday parties, her school plays, Christmas dinner. You always had something else to do. Trinity's face crumbles. That's not... I was busy. Too busy for family, I say. But now you need family, so here you are. I'm trying to be better. Are you? Because from where I'm standing, you're the same person who was too important to visit a sick baby. Trinity stares at me, tears starting to form. I said I was sorry about that. No, you didn't. You've never apologized, not once. She opens her mouth, then closes it. That's what I thought, I say. Trinity runs upstairs. A few minutes later, we hear her on the phone, voice raised and angry. Faith looks worried. Is Aunt Trinity going to leave? Maybe, I tell her. Good, she says quietly. She's not very nice. That night, after Faith is asleep, I sit at my kitchen table and write a letter. Not an email, a real letter, printed on good paper. When I'm finished, I put it in an envelope and leave it on Trinity's pillow. Then I go to bed and sleep better than I have in weeks. Trinity finds the letter at midnight. I know because I hear her scream. Callie! Her footsteps pound down the stairs. I'm already in my robe, waiting in the kitchen with a cup of tea. What the hell is this? She waves the letter at me, her face twisted with rage. It's a letter. You documented everything, every phone call, every text message, How did you even get these emails? People talk when they think someone deserves to know the truth. You've been planning this. You've been planning this since the day I moved in. Ashton appears in the doorway, hair messy from sleep. What's going on? Trinity shoves the letter at him. Read it. Read what your psychotic wife has been doing. Ashton scans the pages, his expression growing more serious with each paragraph. The letter details everything: Trinity's lies at work, the stolen presentations, the falsified expenses. But more importantly, it includes transcripts of her recorded conversations, including the ones where she called me a bitch and mocked my postpartum depression. Trinity, Ashton says quietly, is this true? She's been recording me in her own house. That's illegal. Actually, it's not, I say calmly. Single-party consent state, I can record any conversation I'm part of and any conversation that takes place in my home. You weren't part of my phone calls, but they happened in my living room, my house, my rules. Trinity turns back to Ashton. You're going to let her do this to me? Do what? Tell the truth? She's trying to destroy me. You destroyed yourself, I say. I just documented it. Trinity's hands shake as she reads the letter again. You sent this to Emiliano. You sent this to my former boss. I sent it to anyone who might be considering hiring you. They deserve to know what kind of employee they'd be getting. That's sabotage. It's transparency. You can't do this to me. I already did. Faith appears at the top of the stairs, rubbing her eyes. Mommy? Why is everyone yelling? Go back to bed, sweetheart, I call up. Everything's fine. No, it's not fine, Trinity shouts. Your mommy is a vindictive bitch who... Ashton steps between us. Don't you dare talk like that in front of my daughter. Your daughter needs to know what kind of person her mother really is. What kind of person am I, Trinity? I ask. The kind who takes care of her family? The kind who works hard and pays her bills? The kind who doesn't steal from her employer or lie to her clients? You're the kind who holds grudges, who can't forgive. Forgive what exactly? Your complete absence from our lives? Your mockery of my medical condition? Your disrespect in my own home? I was going through a divorce, and 5 years ago I was going through postpartum depression. Where was your compassion then? Trinity's face crumples. I was young. I didn't understand. You were 33, old enough to know better. People change. Do they? Because you've been here 3 weeks and you've shown nothing but entitlement and disrespect. Ashton looks at the letter again. Trinity, you need to leave. What? You heard me. Pack your things and go. But I have nowhere. That's not our problem anymore. Trinity turns to me, desperation replacing anger. Please, I'll pay the rent. I'll follow your rules. I'll be better. With what money? According to this letter, you're unemployable in your field. Your references are all compromised. Your unemployment benefits run out next month. How do you know about my benefits? Public records. Amazing what you can find when you know where to look. Trinity sinks into a chair, the fight going out of her. You planned all of this. I prepared for possibilities. There's a difference. You wanted me to fail. I wanted you to face consequences. Finally, Ashton puts his hand on Trinity's shoulder. I'll help you find somewhere else to stay, but you can't be here anymore. Where am I supposed to go? Mom and Dad won't take me back. They said I'm too much drama. The irony isn't lost on me. The golden child, abandoned by the same parents who abandoned me. There are shelters, I say, social services, resources for people in your situation. Resources? Trinity laughs bitterly. You mean charity. You want me to live in a homeless shelter. I want you to live somewhere that isn't my house. Faith calls down from upstairs. Mommy, I can't sleep with all the noise. I'm coming, baby. I stand up. Trinity, you have until tomorrow morning to pack. After that, I'm calling the police to have you removed for trespassing. You can't. I can. And I will. Trinity looks at Ashton one more time. She's turned you against your own family. No, he says quietly. You did that yourself. I go upstairs to comfort Faith, leaving them in the kitchen. Through the baby monitor, I hear Trinity crying and Ashton trying to reason with her. Why didn't you just help me? She sobs. Why couldn't you just help me? We tried to help you, Ashton says. But help requires change, and you don't want to change. You want everyone else to change for you. I lost everything. So did Callie, 5 years ago. But she built it back. She didn't wait for someone else to fix it. I'm not as strong as her. You're not as willing to work as her. There's a difference. I turn off the monitor and focus on Faith, who's finally falling back asleep. Is Aunt Trinity leaving? She whispers. Yes, sweetheart. Good. She scared me. She can't scare you anymore. Mommy won't let anyone scare you. Faith nods and closes her eyes. I sit in her room for a long time, listening to her breathe and thinking about consequences. Some people call it revenge. I call it justice. Trinity leaves before dawn. I hear her dragging her suitcases down the stairs, the broken wheel scraping against each step. The front door closes with a soft click. I don't get up to watch her go. At breakfast, Faith asks, Where did Aunt Trinity go? To figure out her life, Ashton says, buttering her toast. Will she come back? No, I tell her. She won't. Faith nods and goes back to her cereal, seemingly unbothered. Children are resilient that way. They adapt quickly when toxic people leave their lives. 2 days later, Sandra calls. How could you do this to her? She demands without preamble. Do what? You know what? Trinity is living in a motel again. She can't find work anywhere. People are calling her unemployable. People are telling the truth about her work history. You destroyed her reputation. Her reputation destroyed itself. I just made sure people knew about it. She's family. Where was that family loyalty when I was bleeding on a hospital floor? Sandra's voice cracks. That was different. How? You had Ashton. You had help. I had a husband who was as overwhelmed as I was and in-laws who cared more about party planning than their granddaughter's life. We were going to visit when, after the wedding, after the honeymoon, after Trinity's life was perfect and mine didn't matter anymore. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. There's a difference. She's sleeping in her car now, Callie. Her car. I feel a flicker of something. Not guilt, exactly, but recognition. I know what it's like to feel abandoned and desperate. That's unfortunate, I say finally. Unfortunate? She's your sister-in-law. She's a stranger who shares DNA with my husband, just like you are. Sandra gasps. I can't believe you'd say that. I can't believe it took you this long to call and check on your granddaughter. What? Faith, your granddaughter, the one you've seen 3 times in 5 years. When's her birthday, Sandra? Silence. What's her favorite color? Her favorite food? What grade is she in? More silence. You don't know, do you? You don't know anything about her because you've never bothered to ask. We've been busy for 5 years. Too busy for a 10-minute phone call? Too busy to send a birthday card? You made it clear we weren't welcome. I made it clear that I wouldn't beg for scraps of your attention anymore. There's a difference. Sandra starts crying. We're family. Families forgive each other. Families also show up for each other. You never showed up. We're showing up now. You're showing up now because you need something. That's not family. That's convenience. The line goes quiet except for Sandra's sniffling. Trinity could die out there, she whispers. Trinity is a grown woman with a college degree and work experience. If she dies, it won't be from homelessness. It'll be from pride. You're heartless. I'm practical. I learned to be when no one else would take care of my family. Sandra hangs up. That evening, Ashton finds me in the garden, pulling weeds while Faith plays on her swing set. My mom called me at work, he says. I figured she would. She wants me to talk to you, convince you to help Trinity. I sit back on my heels. And what did you tell her? I told her that my wife spent 5 years learning to protect our family, and I'm not going to ask her to stop now. Good answer. He kneels beside me and starts pulling weeds too. Do you ever feel bad about it? About what? Trinity, the letter, all of it. I consider the question while watching Faith pump her legs to swing higher. I feel bad that it was necessary, I say finally, but I don't feel bad about doing it. She really is sleeping in her car. Then she should figure out how to change that. The way you did? The way anyone does. By working, by swallowing pride, by asking for help from people who actually care about you. Ashton nods. My parents want to cut contact with us completely. How do you feel about that? Relieved, honestly. I'm tired of feeling guilty for choosing my wife and daughter over people who never chose us back. Faith runs over, grass stains on her knees and dirt under her fingernails. Daddy, look what I found. She holds up a smooth stone, perfectly round and white. That's beautiful, sweetheart. Where did you find it? By the fence. Can I keep it? Of course. She runs back to her swing, clutching her treasure. She's happy, Ashton observes. She's safe. That's more important. Are you happy? I look around our backyard, the garden I planted, the swing set we assembled together, the fence that keeps our world separate from the chaos outside. I'm content, I say. I'm at peace. That's not the same thing. Sometimes it's better. 3 weeks pass without contact from Ashton's family. No calls, no texts, no surprise visits. The silence is golden. Then Faith comes home from school with a drawing, a family portrait in crayon. Me, Ashton, and her, standing in front of our house with the sun shining overhead. Where should we hang this one? I ask. On the refrigerator next to my spelling test. I pin it up with a magnet shaped like a butterfly. Mommy, Faith says, are you sad that Aunt Trinity left? No, sweetheart, are you? No, she made you sad and I don't like when you're sad. I'm not sad anymore. Good. Can we make cookies? After dinner. And can we watch a movie? If you finish your homework? She grins and runs upstairs to get her backpack. Ashton comes home to the smell of chocolate chip cookies and the sound of Faith's laughter echoing through the house. This, he says, kissing my forehead, is what family looks like. I lean into him, watching our daughter arrange cookies on a plate with the seriousness of a master chef. He's right. This is family. Not the people who share your blood, but the people who show up, the people who stay, the people who choose you every single day, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Trinity made her choices. Sandra and Michael made theirs. I made mine too, and I'd make them again.